inside the Niger Delta.
Bayelsa State Governor Henry Seriake Dickson and his River State counterpart Nyesom Wike recently had cause to spar over the disputed Soku oil fields bordering the oil-rich states in verbal attacks that crossed the line of decency. Beyond their avowed commitment to the interests of the individual states in the ongoing fray, there are indications that the differences between both political leaders may have been motivated by the quest for greater access to the monthly 13% oil derivation funds from the Federation account, as correspondent Tekena Amiofori reports.
In 2009, the protracted dispute on the ownership of Soku oil field was brought before the Supreme Court, which in 2012 ordered the National Boundary Commission to delineate the boundary between Rivers and Bayelsa states. Following the failure of the National Boundary Commission to carry out the Apex Court's order, the Rivers State government last year approached an Abuja Federal High Court to seek an enforcement of its rights over the disputed oil field, an application which the court granted to the dismay of Bayelsa State. Before this time, former governors Dieprie Alamesia and Peter Odili, as well as Rotimi Amechi and Tumipri Silva, who succeeded them in office, were all major actors in the dispute, but they never had cause to cross swords publicly over their differences. Unlike their predecessors in office, Dickson and Wike, in their recent verbal exchange, threw caution and decorum to the winds, prompting most observers to conclude that beyond the disputed Soku oil fields, they harbored deep-seated animosities that only became public knowledge at the slightest provocation. In their recent verbal altercations, both leaders left no one in doubt that there was no love lost between them when they accused each other of political infidelity to their party and individual states.
We should stop treating and seeing Bayelsa as an annexed part of River State. Well off. We should stop interfering even in the politics of Bayelsa State. It should stop. You all know what it did in the PDP primaries. And the roles it played supporting the APC in their federal takeover of our state. There are so many things that have been doing over the years that I keep quiet about.
Now, you talk about me colluding with APC federal government. I'm the only state in the south side that President Buhari never got 25%. In Bayelsa, I got about 45%. Who colluded with who? They will go and settle at the back and tell them to protect them, that they will give them percentage. It is now he has realized that they have played him. It's now he realized that dawned on him now that all those games you are playing tonight, nobody will keep to it. That promise they have made to you, they won't keep to it. You plan for PDP to fail election. You are not shouting federal government. How can a reasonable man who means well for a state and the party will tell two senators to withdraw from election? And then you hope that you owe everything. Senator Diri, if he wins, there will be a by-election. The other one from his local government, who was running for deputy governor, if he wins, there will be another by-election. So you want the state to go for two by-elections. And knowing how volatile elections are in this Niger Delta. Greed. Why? You take the deputy governor who's from here, you are the governor. You are living as governor. You are also taking the deputy governor in your local government. So you will run for Senate. Man proposes, God does what? Disposes.
Indications are rife that the political strange-bed fellows, generally viewed before this time as arrowheads of Nigeria's main opposition People's Democratic Party, are in a battle for political supremacy in the Niger Delta.
You have been in office for almost 8 years. I've been in office for about 4 years and some months. Look at the development in River State and look at the development in Bayelsa. 8 years and 4 years. Compare. Bayelsa State only has 8 local governments. River State has 23 local governments. I can stand here and tell Governor Dickson, there's no local government in this state that I will say there's no one project. Let him tell me each of the local government in the 8 local governments in Bayelsa State. That's make up the whole of the just there. Let him mention the projects. I can mention as I sit here, Anthony Opopo, Ijaw people. Let him go to Anthony and see what is happening. Let him go to Opopo and see what is happening. Bonny is an Ijaw land. Let him go to Bonny local government and see what I'm doing. AKUGHA Torres and Ijaw land. Let him go to AKUGHA Torres and see what I'm doing. Dickson is an Ijaw land. Let him go to Dickson and see what I'm doing. Asari Torres and Ijaw land. Let him go to Asari Torres and see what I'm doing. Let him mention the 8 local governments in Bayelsa State that he has touched. If you are going to Uruguay, just one road from the junction, all you will see heaps of refuse. You can come to Port Harcourt in the night. You will see lights. Go to ordinary Uruguay, small Uruguay, no light, no street light. This thing cannot, in all ramifications, compare with me in terms of development. There's no basis. In fact, there's no basis to talk about it.
We don't have as much money as Governor Wike and Rivers State has. He should leave Bayelsa alone. Wike should leave Bayelsa alone with his Rivers excess allocation and IGL that he has. We are a state created out of the most underdeveloped areas of all River State. Every road we have to build ourselves. Every facility we have to build ourselves. Building an airport alone, finishing it, they are not giving us license. It should leave us alone with our woes. We didn't inherit the government that has an airport or a seaport, or roads or schools. We are building. Wike should learn to respect his colleagues for whom we have should stand regard for.
The decision by the politically estranged governors to take each other to task in service delivery is generally considered most welcome in the Niger Delta. However, some observers are of the view that the rift between the governors may have been ignited by the quest for greater federal allocations accruing from the statutory 13% oil derivation funds, which have not been appropriated in the best interest of oil-producing communities in their states. This probably explains why the first military administrator of Old River State, King Alfred Spieth, wants Bayelsa and River States to establish oil mineral development commissions to allow oil-producing communities benefit more from the 13% oil derivation fund.
The 2 states should get together and resolve this matter amicably. And these 2 states also should set up their intervention commissions. The Delta has Desopadec, Imo has Imopadec, and you should have Risopadec and Basopadec. That's what we are saying.
Rivers and Bayelsa states have consistently received the lion's share of federal monthly allocation since 1999, when the oil derivation formula was increased to 13% by the Obasanjo administration. Throughout last year, both states ranked among the 5 top earners from the Federation account, which comparatively places them at a vantage position in the Committee of States. Sadly, however, a report released by the National Bureau of Statistics in April last year shows that the oil-producing states account for the highest unemployment rates in the country. According to the report, Akwa Ibom tops the list of unemployment prevalence with 37.7%, while Rivers and Bayelsa follow closely with 36.4% and 32.6% in that order.
If 2 brothers are at war, others will be looking at it as if these 2 states are not serious. And both people that really want to invest either locally or internationally will be looking at how do I go and invest in area that is not politically stable, where both governors are at war. The critical stakeholders in the region or between the Rivers and Bayelsa State should take it upon themselves to go and reconcile the rift between these warring governors that are falling apart because of personal interest.
To any of the Niger Delta states have a refinery. I mean, knowing fully well that the only thing we have in this country is oil, and they are produced here. Common sense should tell somebody that calls himself a governor to spend all the money he has in building, even though it's 3 refineries, to ensure that all the crudes that are produced are refined in your own state. We are rich. We have no reason to be poor. What is draining money from these states is their involvement in national politics. They are the conduit pipes.
There's no gainsaying the fact that it has become incumbent on Nigeria's oil-producing states to begin to deploy their vast oil resources into more creative ventures in readiness for an inevitable post-oil economy in the region. The current rift between the governors of Bayelsa and Rivers states, without a shadow of doubt, goes to show how individual differences among the region's political leaders had contributed to the collapse of the Brace Commission, which was established in 2009 to promote rapid and sustainable economic development in Nigeria's South-South geopolitical zone. In the face of mounting poverty, insecurity, and underdevelopment bedeviling their region, however, the Niger Delta leaders have no reason to continue to spar over trivial issues. They are rather expected to explore better ways of making governance more relevant to the needs of their people who have become seriously vulnerable to the negative outcomes of poor leadership. It is against this backdrop that most Niger Deltans want their leaders to eschew political rivalry and embrace the option of sustainable peace and development, which the Niger Delta needs to continue to survive as a region.
Inside the Niger Delta.